Ready.
It's your boy Big Star Raw Sports, rawsports.tv here my man Delgreco. Man, if you can, for the audience, introduce yourself to the people, man, what it is that you do, and then we'll transition into talking about today's event.
Delgreco Wilson, the founder, owner of Black Cager Sports Media, Black Cager Scouting Service, and a couple other little things, and it's all really relating around student athletes.
Gotcha.
And trying to help student athletes be in a position where they can leverage their athletic abilities and talents for access to higher education. So that's the core of his mission. This thing today was about trying to let these kids who play on these national circuits, you know, Big Star, these kids go to Texas, they go to Florida.
It's hard for us to see them. Listen, I be wanting to say, yo, young boy, I'm gonna come to your game, check you out. Where you play next week? Oh, we in Vegas. We in Texas. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna have to catch you, man. And then I wind up not being able to catch them. So this was a treat. Thank you, man.
So it was perfect timing, and I really must say I had perfect partners. You know, you hear about the beefs and the squabbles that go on between the two, the 3, the 4 AAU clubs in the area. And I have to say that once Lonnie Lowry and Rob Brown came together and came up with this concept, we didn't have a single day, I'd say the past 3 weeks, where we didn't communicate with one another and where they really just showed just incredible sportsmanship, and I think it carried over and through their programs today. You saw the kids on the court; they were competing very, very hard. But there was nothing that you would consider unsportsmanlike. You know, perfect spirit. We had a wonderful crowd, and everybody got to see these kids play right here at home before they off on the road in another 2 weeks. So we got to do it in Philly.
Coming up.
Peace Jam's coming up. Under Armour Nationals, Adidas Gauntlet Nationals. So this is a chance for us to
talk about perfect timing, being able to get it in between.
Good work for these guys. I think they're all better off for having played today.
What would you say talk about the level of talent that's here in the Pennsylvania, Philadelphia area as it compares to, around the country? Pennsylvania's been blessed over the last couple of years. We have some McDonald's All-Americans in, last year's class, this year's class, and everything in between, man. Talk about, Philadelphia area's talent, man.
Well, at the guard level, I think we're at or near the top. In the last few years, I mean, last year you had Darren Russell, you had Colin Gillespie, you had Quade Green, and I mean, these guys can play anywhere against anyone, and that reflected in their recruiting. They had a lot of options. Collins in the Big East, Fats is at Rhode Island in the A10, and Quade is at Kentucky. So, in the guard spot and the wing spot, I think we really match up well with everybody. I'd put Philly up against anybody in the country. This year, alone at the wing, we've got Cam Reddish, she's over in Egypt right now. You got a lot of the guys that were out here on the floor tonight. These guys are good. Where I think we may be lacking a little bit relative to other areas is just in sheer size and sheer athleticism among the bigs. We have a few big guys that come through every year. You get a 6'8", 6'9" guy, but we don't get that guy that's a young Dwight Howard, When they come along through our time, they're like unicorns, Rasheed Wallace.
Listen, in the 90s, late 80s, 90s, Jason Lawson, all those guys, they were everywhere.
You get them.
Legit bigs were, you know what I'm saying?
We just don't seem to be
and bigs who wanted to be bigs.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
So that's that, but I think overall, Philadelphia basketball has a really strong reputation. When I talk to coaches around the country and they come to Philly, they're looking for a Philadelphia player. So there's a set of characteristics, a set of things that they're assuming a Philadelphia player is going to bring to the table. Toughness, integrity, willing to, get down on the floor and fight and kick and scrap. We're not known for being really flashy or fancy. You just make the play that it takes to win. So that's where I would say about Philadelphia basketball.
How significant or how huge do you think this event is? And then when you talk about the ripple effect, for example, I mean, everyone, word of mouth is something, you know what I'm saying? So regardless of the social media, regardless of the video that comes out, people are going to take this experience and take it with them and talk to mention it to people who weren't able to be here. And I'm sure some of these kids are looking forward to next year's. What do you think is going to be the ripple effect of today's event and just for today and then for the future as well?
I think it shows that this is something that is achievable. I think that there was a general perception that it would be almost impossible to get these guys to work together. You know, I think that we've entered an era where commerce is a very big factor, and you just can't ignore that. You know, these guys play for one shoe company, and another one may play for another shoe company, and another one may play for another shoe company. So if they lose to a shoe company, you know, you're scared that it might impact your ability to attract the better players the following year and the year after that. So we had to overcome that. And the beautiful thing about today is every game was up in the air.
Yeah.
Every game.
Close.
And it was 1-1 going into the third. So nobody lost out, really. You know, Team Final snuck through, and they won the bell. But Team Philly, Kalo Elite, they really held it down. And quite frankly, if I had to be honest, they played harder. Because they're full of Philly kids on that roster. Those kids were tougher. They fought harder. The Team Final kids were a little longer, a little more athletic. I think that kind of caught up to them at the end of the first game and the third game. But overall, the way Kalo Elite brought it, I'm impressed, man.
No doubt.
So I think that going forward, I think this event is something we can do year in and year out. And maybe we can mix in a couple of other events throughout the summer. I think a good number would be 3 or 4 local events featuring top flight AAU teams, so that the real hoop heads such as you and I, you know, we don't have to drive to Atlantic City or New York or Baltimore.
We got way too much talent right here in our own backyard.
So that's what it's all about, man.
2 more things real quick. Just talk to the people about your brand, your company, and if someone's looking to get involved with Black Cager, where can they find you? What's the website? What exactly do you do? And then talk about Sportsnado, the app, and all that kind of stuff as well.
Black Cager is really, it's kind of evolving. I started off, it was really a printed blog, and most of that stuff comes out on DelgrecoWilson.com. And there I kind of do in-depth stuff. I write about things that you just ordinarily wouldn't see on regular newspapers, and I try to ask questions that I know other people aren't going to ask. I try to write from a distinctly black perspective in covering scholastic sports. So on the video side, we have BlackCagerSports.com. And on there I try to highlight a lot of the local players and a lot of the local coaches, organizations, and programs, and just give them a platform, man, so that people can see what they're doing. Sportnado is an app that's been very, very good to me. They've been sponsoring a lot of the activities we've had today. They actually made it possible for me to give these young men nice MVP awards. I'm sure he got a bunch of trophies at the house.
No doubt.
I'm gonna give him something he can use, when he's getting his jumpers up in the air. They wireless, man.
No doubt.
You ain't gotta have that. Just put them on and do your workout.
No doubt.
So and look for Sportnado to really be co-sponsoring pretty much everything I'm going to do going forward as far as live events are concerned. But it's an app that's sort of like Instagram for sports. We don't have no scantily clad girls, no politics, it's just sports. Raw sports. And for the kids that are playing, it's a place where they can put their profile out. And if they can play, we will push them and make sure the coaches take a look at the profile and see what's going on with
doubt.
them. So,
well, I'm gonna make sure I get my profile jumping so I can be in the mix.
Well, I want to say publicly that I talked to my partners and I said we gotta have them on there so that when you post things, we can amplify your voice. Let everybody know, and you can post your stuff directly to Sportnado. So if they go on Sportnado, they can see your Twitter, they can see your Instagram, they can see your Facebook.
It's going down. It's going down.
Right there.
My man.
All right?
Appreciate you, man. I appreciate the invitation, all the hospitality, big dog.
Thank you for coming, man.
My man.